to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Tyler Merkovich alongside the czar of the playbook, Emery Hunt. We're bringing you our 2010 Sun Belt Conference season preview, and let's start out with Arkansas State. They were 4-8 last year. Steve Roberts enters his 9th year, and quarterback Ryan Applin is very happy to see Derek Newton, right tackle, all-conference former return, along with 4 other starting offensive linemen.
Well, that deep and experienced offensive line is going to be the catalyst for offensive success, led by Newton, 6'5", 315. They have to get that going, and that's a good foundation to start with when you have a quarterback like Applin. And speaking of Applin, he has to do a great job of keeping off true freshman quarterback Philip Butterfield, who comes in with a lot of hype, highly touted prospects. So you may see both this year, but he has to do a good job of keeping him on the bench. And third, I think the running back, Derek Lawson, has to regain his 08 form when he was outstanding. If he reverts back to 08, his offense is going to be fine.
And on defense, they need to create more turnovers. They need more of a pass rush because quarterbacks are completing 60% of their passes. Demario Davis, their leading tackler at linebacker, is back. Second-team All-Conference performer, defensive tackle Brian Hall, and free safety, first-team All-Performer M.D. Jennings is back. So those 3 players need to be the catalyst.
Yeah, especially Hall. Hall is the anchor up front. He's an NFL prospect, 6'3", 300 pounds. So they need him to be stout against run. Second, you mentioned linebacker Demario Davis. Outstanding tackler, playmaker, heady guy, smart guy as well. In the secondary, you look at Jennings as well as McCray. Those 2 talented safeties have to protect the inexperience at the cornerback position.
For the Owls of Florida Atlantic, 5-7, Howard Schnellenberger enters his 10th year. Jeff Van Camp is slated to be the quarterback, but 0 returning offensive linemen. Good thing he has in the backfield Alfred Morris, first-team All-Conference, led the conference in rushing, 1,392 yards and 11 touchdowns.
Let's just give him 1,400 yards. You know, you got to give him, can't short him like that. But they're going to have to lean on Alfred Morris a lot in the early part of the season as they get the rest of the offense up to speed. And also with the inexperienced offensive line and wide receiving core, that may be the weak spot of that offense. But I do like Van Camp's accuracy, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's going to be a star. He already has the strongest arm in the Sun Belt Conference.
And the defense needs to improve. They were getting gashed on the ground, giving up over 6 yards per carry, and through the air, 67 completion rating for opposing quarterback. Tavius Polo, the cornerback, he's going to need to lead that secondary along with safety Marcus Bartles, who was their leading tackler. He was a second-team All-Conference performer. And DN Kevin Cyril needs to step up, and linebacker Mike Lachlan.
Well, you look at the defensive coordinator, I'll get his name right, Kurt Van Valkenburg. Can he make a difference? He's going to make that much of a difference for that defense that was terrible last season. So he has to get those guys, all 11 guys, ready to go play football. You mentioned Cyril, and you also mentioned David Jones, 2 DNs. They have to come and play each and every snap. That's going to help a lot to get the pressure up front and help out the secondary and the rest of the defense. Marcus Bartles is an outstanding playmaker, 112 tackles. If they can get the pressure up front, then the rest of the defense is going to look okay. And that's going to help out Florida Atlantic as a whole.
For Florida International, it was a 3-9 season, but they're optimistic down in Miami. Mario Cristobal enters his 4th year. Mississippi transfer Wesley Carroll will battle Wayne Younger for the starting quarterback job, but Jeremiah Harden, the Syracuse transfer, is at running back, and wide receiver T.Y. Hilton, first-team All-Performer. He's a good kick returner, small guy, very fast. Brad Serini, the center, leads the offensive line.
Yeah, you look at Brad Serini, they're going to have to help that quarterback spot get up to speed. When you have I really like the offensive line. Serena is a good player. The center is the most important position of their offensive line. Look for Carroll to win that starting spot. He has starting experience, especially in the SEC. And I think, expect to see Ty Hilton be all over the field, wide receiver, the Wildcat formation, the quarterback spot. They're going to get him the ball early and often throughout the game.
And on defense, just like their rival Owls, they were getting gashed on the ground, over almost 5.5 yards per carry they were giving up. Their linebackers, Aaron Davis, Toronto Smith, they're going to pave the way for guys like Larvez Mars, who's a sophomore. He's looking good and coming to his own. And cornerback Anthony Gator, who's a second-team All-Conference selection, leads the secondary.
Well, you look at an influx of a lot of youth and new players may prove to be beneficial for the defense because they don't know anything. So they're going to come in and want to fly around to the football and make plays on the run. So that's going to help out the defense a lot. You also look at the linebackers. You mentioned Hubert Morris, outstanding linebacker for the Panthers. They're going to come in, and they have a lot of talent at that spot. That's the strongest spot on the defensive side of football. And that secondary, look for freshman Jose Chesborough to come in and surprise in the secondary. True guy, young guy. So when you got a lot of youth, the youth and their inexperience is going to prove to be they're to their benefit for Florida International.
The Raging Cajuns of the University of Louisiana Lafayette, your alma mater, 500 years, 6-6. Ricky Bussell is entering his 9th year. Big year because it's going to be a tough schedule. Chris Masson leads at quarterback. Julian Schenkel running back, but redshirt freshman Rob Walker will split time most likely. Look out for Rob Walker. Wide receiver Marlon Miller is a playmaker. Only one of two. John DeCostner is one of 2 returning linemen, so a lot of inexperience up there.
Well, with the question mark at running back, look for true freshman Aaron Spikes to come in. Highly touted recruit, 5'9", 185 to get a lot of takes. They have a question mark. Nobody really wanted to take the spot, and that could prove to be detrimental to the entire offense. Also, you got to keep an eye on Ladarius Green, tight end. He's going to be a star. 6'6". They haven't had a tight end that big since Lawrence Looseneck Johnson, number 88, but they have a big tight end. He's going to be a star. Another long line of Cajun players is going to get drafted. And someone has to protect the football, cut down on the interceptions, make more timely throws, and stop trying to force passes.
And that defense must get stopped because they're going against some powerhouses this year. Their sack total has dipped the last 3 seasons. They really need to get it back up there. Cornerback Dwight Bentley was a first-team All-Performer. Middle linebacker Grant Fleming was also a third-team All-Selection. So they really need to step up on that side of the ball because they're going to play some great offenses.
Well, you look at the defensive line, they have to step up huge this season to help out the rest of that defense. You mentioned Dwight Bentley. He's a leader of a strong secondary. The Raging Cajuns always had a strong secondary back to the Ike Taylor, Charles Tillman days. You think about those secondaries, they're able to produce Kyrie Saber also. So their secondary is going to be strong. Dwight Bentley is going to have to step up, but the D-line is important. And the linebackers are a solid group, but it all predicates. Losing D linemen to the draft, that's important, but you have to get the D-line front 4 important in order to save the rest of the defense, the back half of the defense.
The North Texas Mean Green, only 2-10 last year, but an improving squad under Todd Dodge, who enters his 4th year at the helm. Nate Toon will battle Derek Thompson. Toon had some pretty good games last year, but it's about Lance Dunbar. He's a first-team All-Conference selection, the running back. 19 touchdowns rushing and receiving, almost 7 yards per carry. Victor Gill, left tackle, he leads the way for Dunbar.
Well, that's the big matchup, that quarterback position. But you mentioned Thompson and Toon. Thompson may win out, but Toon has that experience. But whoever's going to be back there, wide receiver Jamal Jackson is, and the rest of the receiving core is ready to help out who's ever back there at the starting spot. But the offense goes through Mr. Dunbar, big-time rusher, big-time asset for that offense for the Mean Green.
And on defense, they have the leading tackler is Craig Robertson. He was a 2nd-team All-League. Deanne Brandon Akpunku needs to step up. He's also 2nd-team All-League performer. And free safety DeWaylen Cook. This side of the ball needs to play consistent for them to have a winning season.
Exactly. They can't give up the big play. Last year, it killed the Mean Green last season. 35 points a game. Teams are going over their heads deep. A lot of big runs given up. They recruit a lot of JUCO players. So with the influx of JUCO talent on defense, they need those guys to play up to their talent right away. The reason why you get a lot of JUCO players because they have collegiate playing experience and they can come in right away. They don't have that deep learning curve as would a true freshman coming right out of high school. So they need those JUCO players to step up in a huge way.
And they're usually juniors around 20, 21 years old.